Hola, people.
Howdy.
So, I hope everyone is having a fun Saturday. Uh, Tonight, we're going to talk about how to give an intuitive reading. And we are definitely here to answer your questions. If you have any questions, if you want to know more about how to give an intuitive reading, um, use the live Q&A. And if this is a recording that you're watching, go ahead and comment on the video. And again, we'll be of service and we'll do our best to respond and answer your questions. And so let's just get down dirty, and we're going to talk again about how to give an intuitive reading or a psychic reading. We chose to use intuitive, because it's a little more acceptable by everyone, because a lot of people feel like they're not psychic. And so it's just easier to understand when you say intuition, because everyone has those intuitive sparks. Whether we call them psychic sparks or not, intuition is universally understood. Yes?
Yes, very true.
All right, then. So we're not going to really cover like the basics. Obviously, when you give a reading, you want to be grounded and centered. You want to be present, and you want to give the person that you're reading your attention. So we're not going to cover grounding. We're not going to cover centering. If that's a video that you would like to see, let us know. We'll do that later, I guess. But that's something that's very common to witches practice. And so I feel like, why? You know?
Right.
So, Jess. So yeah, how to give an intuitive reading. So when you read for someone, Miss Melissa, what's like the first step that you do besides, your normal ground center? So let's talk about how to give a reading. So what do you do when you're reading for someone?
Okay, whenever I'm giving an intuitive reading, and intuitive reading can cover really anything. You don't necessarily have to use like tarot cards or anything like that. You just read the person. And regardless of the type of reading that I'm giving, I just focus on the person if they're in front of me. Now, a lot of my stuff I do online, which is a whole different, really, feeling, because there's a lot more you can pick up from someone when they're sitting right in front of you. When they're sitting right in front of you, it's easier to me because their energy is right there. You know what I mean? It's like you just reach out and can touch it. Now, not saying that, online is a challenge. It's not. It's just different. For me, it is anyway. There's a different, I don't know. It seems like I have to reach out farther. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because whenever I reach out to someone, I sort of envision almost like an extension of my hand reaching out to sort of touch the person. Not like really mess with their energy, but kind of feel it, just like if I was just putting my hand like right there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever it's an online reading, I feel like I have to extend a little farther. So, which isn't a big deal. It's not that bad. It's not challenging. It's just different.
Right.
So, but that's usually what I do is I basically send out a part of me that reaches out to that other person to kind of glean what I can just from that little bit of contact. So that's usually how I start. How do you start?
Whoa. I agree with you, but at the same time, I'm not disagreeing. For me, it's slightly different, just because when you started reading for people, you had that physical, that first physical interaction. So you were used to kind of, reading for people in the physical versus online. Right. Well, my experience is the exact opposite. I was trained and I'm used to reading for people at a distance, online, sometimes over the phone, just different things like that. That is easier for me than reading for someone in the physical, just because when I'm in someone's presence, I have to take in everything that they're throwing at me. And so sometimes I get thrown off by something they'll say or their body language, or, it's a little more makes me a little more nervous when I'm reading for someone in the physical, just because I'm not necessarily used to it. Whereas online, I'm so trained, my muscles are trained to work that way, that it's easier for me and it's less stress on me to do it that way. So the first thing that I do when I'm reading for someone, and I will give like an example that happened today. I was on the phone, I was on the phone with my boyfriend, and I don't know how. I'll just go from the beginning. This morning, I woke up and I had this feeling, and it was like an intuitive spark. I had like something was not right, and that's kind of how you're going to process your reading. Is like you trust those feelings, you trust the images or the impressions that you get, and then you get all Nancy Drew and you fucking just get detective on it, and you find out what that is. Anyways, so that's why I asked him, like, are you okay? Something going on? Because I felt it was directed at him. He was like, I'm fine. So I'm like, okay, but I still had this feeling that there was something not necessarily right, not horrible or tragic or anything like that, but there is something off. Well, got on the phone with him, we're talking. Somehow I ended up doing like a full-on like reading. Like I got some oracle cards, I got some tarot cards, I got another oracle deck. This shit is all over the place. So I'm reading for him, and it's getting pretty intense, just the messages and the energy and what is being expressed. And then he was like, is there something more? And I'm like, I'm not going to get another deck. I'm not going to pull any more cards. And then I just, boom, I went from reading the cards and the way they come to me intuitively and everything to full-on psychic expression. And then I'm like, well, this is how I'm feeling. And then, boom, I channeled his energy and the messages that were being expressed to him. And I was given visions, and I expressed that way. And I expressed to him as if I were living it. So I just relayed the message. Okay, this is how I feel. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm experiencing. And this is a message that is coming in to counter that blockage. And so my initial intuitive spark this morning when I woke up, it had nothing to do with what he was currently going through. It had something to do with what I had to relay later today, which is interesting for me. Hopefully that's not too confusing, but it's just intense. So when you intuitively read for someone, you again just ground, you center, and you focus on them. You focus on their question, and it's not just like you're focusing your physical body on them. You're focusing your mental aspects, the psychic aspects. You're reaching out in a sense. However you feel comfortable with that, you reach out to tap their essence. You reach out to tap their energy. And once you kind of lock on, that's when that communication starts to happen. That's when it starts giving you feedback. And so as you kind of, everything sounds so horrible to me, but as you enter your client, part of you enters your client, because another part of them is returned to you. So it's like a cycle. So you're giving them information, but you're programming that to I have this question, what do I see? And then that is all generating data, and that data is being given to you.
Right, exactly. And that, to me, that's exactly how it feels. It's like, I get, for everyone, it is uniquely different. But for me, I'm very visual. So I like to have, like, that thought, exactly, of my hand going out. And it looks like my hand, like a faded see-through version of my hand. But that helps me because I know what's my energy and what's theirs. Because you can have experiences, but especially when you are relying on intuition, that where you confuse, like you did this morning, where you kind of confuse the feeling that you're having at the moment as your own or as something else because you don't have access to all the information. So for me, if I have that visual in place, I know exactly what is my energy and what is theirs. Granted, if I woke up in the morning like you did, I wouldn't know because I'd be like, what's going on? But Michael and I both, and with Hunter, have all experienced that whenever you're connected with witches, especially, woke up in the morning and it's like, I'm really upset. Well, I'm upset, and it's like, Michael's having a really bad day, or Hunter's not having a good day. It's not my emotion. Right. And that can be challenging, But whenever you start working with your intuition and doing intuitive readings like that, you're more susceptible to that kind of information sort of jumping at you out of nowhere.
Right.
Yeah. So, it's interesting,
It's fun, and that's kind of the thing is like, how do you give an intuitive reading? You kind of just do it as we express, and you just keep doing it. You have fun. I feel like each and every one of us, we read people on a daily basis. Whenever you come in contact with someone, and this is a good example, like you come in contact with someone, oh, did you have enough coffee? Like, because you can tell maybe they look tired or they feel tired or they look a certain way, but the feeling that you pick up is entirely different. So we are constantly reading other people in different ways. And yes, body language will inspire something. Words inspire something. The written word, inspires something. So anything that someone does, anything that, a target expresses, it inspires reaction and it inspires information. And so this is what you can do, as Melissa expressed, like she visualizes a hand coming out and touching the energy in order to receive it. So figure out a way for yourself. You try the hand technique. I don't do a hand technique. It's just like I kind of push my essence out. I think of the person and I see my essence in their presence. And then I sort of observe them. I feel my energy kind of connect with theirs, and then I bring it back into me, and I read. I express exactly how I feel, what I see, and I trust everything. I just let it go, and that information comes, and I relay it. But you might be like a cord. You might have a cord that you would like to send out and attach to someone and pick up information that way. You might have different ways, different visualizations that you utilize to connect with someone. But try that at first. Connect with their energy. Find people who will let you practice on them, and connect with their energy. I know, we've done that often.
We have, and it's really fun. I mean, you can just go like, as much as I cannot stand the energy in Walmart sometimes, if I'm having a really good day and I know my shield's working really well, I'll do that at Walmart. Just whoever walks by you in the aisle, if they're intriguing to you, I'll look at them and be like, what do they feel right now? And you can almost, after a while, you just tap into it almost like instantly. You can tell exactly how they're feeling before you even look in their face. Right. I'll start with just looking at the person, and then after a while, I'll make a point to not look at their face. Look down, reach out, figure out, and get that first impression and look up, and usually you can see it right on their face if you're right or not. And it's fun. You don't get confirmation necessarily, but you do in a way. And then, if you're around people you trust, like I wouldn't go up to a random stranger and be like, "Are you feeling like shit today?" Because I get that you're feeling like shit.
Though there is a way around that. Is like if you're shopping, the teller, whoever's ringing you up, tap into their energy. And let's say, okay, they're having a really bad day. I feel like they're feeling sad. You can say, hey, I really hope that your day goes better. I feel like, maybe you're feeling a little sad today, but today's a good day, and offer them words of encouragement and leave it at that. You can tell in their eyes and their response. And that's harmless. That's really harmless because you're not, you're saying have a good day, and you're not saying, you look like shit, you feel like shit, whatever. You're just saying, hey, I have this feeling, And I just want to let you know, I hope your day gets better. I hope you have a great day. And whatever response you have, formulate a response based on the energy you picked up and relay that to them. And just have fun with it, because the more you do that, the more that you're going to trust that energy, the more you will understand how to pick up on intuitive hits.
Right, exactly. And like, one of the things I really like doing is if I see someone that looks like they're self-conscious about something, and that's the feeling I'm getting from them is like, oh, they're self-conscious about this shirt that they have on or whatever. Compliment their shirt, like, I love that shirt on you. I compliment strangers all the time because that is just a fun thing to do, and it's not something a lot of people do, and it makes people's day and they feel better. So, that is one of the ways that you can get, again, confirmation. You can also work with, like, friends who don't mind experimenting on them, witchy friends, even through message, like through Messenger or text message or whatever, text them, be like, I feel like right now you're doing that, you're drinking your first cup of coffee and you're feeling really great because you just drank that cup of coffee, or started that cup of coffee and you're feeling better, and see what happens, see how they respond. It's a fun, easy way to test your intuitive skills.
Right. And another way you can do that is just by, again, you need a partner, and have them just sit in front of you or whatever, and have them focus, let's say, on a color. Have them focus on a color, but have them layer it. So a color, that color is a fruit, the fruit is that color, in different layers, and have them, and maybe turn that color into a feeling. Especially if you don't know your dominant psychic response and your receptors, have them make it a feeling, a visual, sensation, like a feeling, again, color, scent, everything, and then, tap into their essence, plug in as you would, and then relay that information. What are you feeling? What are you seeing? What do you smell? What do you taste? And relay all of those things to them, and have them write it down. They'll write down what they're projecting, and see how it compares. That's super fun. Another thing you can do is take them or their persona into you. So you tap their essence, and then you bring that essence sort of back into you, and you are now functioning as them. And so when you're talking as them. So that's kind of what I did earlier today. I was like, well, I feel this, I see this is what happened. And so you just keep expressing the information that's coming to you, because you are responding as your target. So you are experiencing the world as your target.
Right. That's awesome. I love that idea.
It's fun. It's super fun and very simple, y'all. Like, giving an intuitive reading is probably like one of the easiest things that we can do, just because, like I already said, we do it daily.
Right, and we do. Anybody you run into, I know for me, I can just run into random people, and it's like, I will get something off, even when I'm not trying. Especially if it's someone, it happens to me a lot if it's someone I haven't seen in a long time, and I run into them, randomly, but the whole day I've been thinking about them, even though I haven't seen them in like 7 or 8 months. That happens a lot, and that to me is just a part of being a witch. As much as a lot of witches may not claim, that psychic connection, but there is. Call it intuition, call it what you will, but we all have that. Even people who who don't necessarily associate with witch, mm-hmm. have that intuitive. Just like when you meet someone and your first gut reaction is, I don't trust this person. There's no reason for it. They haven't, you don't know them, you've never heard their name, you've never heard anything bad about them, but you just have that feeling like, I just don't trust this person.
Right.
And you should trust those gut reactions. We don't always, but it saves you a lot of hurt and heartache down the line whenever you get those strong emotions about someone.
Right. Right. And and again, y'all, this is super simple. It's not like something crazy, like magical and ritualistic. It's just practice. Practice, practice, practice. And have fun. That's the very important thing about this experience and this exercise is to remain in amusement, because the more that you are in amusement, the more that you're having fun. It's almost like a game, and if it's a game, then it's not necessarily serious. So I don't have that fear of it being me being wrong, because we're just having fun and we're just playing. And the more that you can build that up, the more that you'll build your intuition up, and the more that you will trust it. And so eventually you won't have to have that buffer where it's so a game. It's just reality. Your game becomes your reality, and eventually you'll trust that, and it works for you that way. But always have fun with it, and just keep it light, keep it fun and adventurous, and do different things. Practice with different people, and switch off. As you receive information, then project information. But you want to make sure that you receive and project with the same person, and then move on, because someone might be just more apt and best suited for projecting. So you want to just make sure to have both of those experiences with the same person, and move on to another person to practice with, because then you'll be able to gauge that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because you'll run across people who you practice like that with, who are better receivers than they are projectors, and vice versa. And then also, like Michael was talking about before, they project colors better than emotions, and some people project emotions better than colors, or they project visually better than emotionally. There's so many different ways that people have strengths and weaknesses, and once you kind of get familiar with different people who express and project and receive in different ways, it only helps you that much more, because you understand, like, if you come across someone who projects emotions better than any kind of visual anything, you realize you can figure out what colors could be associated with those emotions. Like, they tell you, well, I'm projecting pink, and I'm projecting love. And it's like, well, I've got the love, but I didn't get the pink. So you can kind of feel your way through, and figuring out what is associated with what, and with different people. Gosh, I can't talk today.
It's all good. It's all good. And another technique for you to try is, as you tap into your target's essence, project yourself, see yourself with them. See yourself with them. So as you connect, your essence, the vehicle that is you, travels to them. And that's what I do a lot, is when I do healings and stuff, I'll travel to my client, and I will see them. I'll see their body, and I'll see them connect, and I'll look at their grounding, see if that needs help, and and I look at their physical body and how it looks, and then we take that layer off, and we look at the energetic body and the different layers of that. So project yourself eventually to your target, and your friend, or your the person you're practicing with, and start to interpret energy that way. So look at them and see, and walk around them, perceive their essence in full. So you'll see their front, and then you'll see their side and their back, and see what comes to you. Are there cords? What are the different colors, on different points of the body? And then if you want to see the aura, just say, program that, express it, say, take me to the aura, or I want to see the aura, show me the aura, something like that. So you have that audible command, and then you go to that spot, you go to that filter, and you see it. And so do that. You want to project yourself, and then witness what you witness.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good idea too. And also you can, if you are, once you get really comfortable with reading people intuitively like that, you know, you can start incorporating that with different divination tools, tarot, you know, pendulum, Ouija boards, whatever you are comfortable, you know, runes, whatever you're comfortable with using, and casting bones, whatever, and you can learn how to integrate both into your readings, and it just amplifies everything you do. You know, it is only more beneficial to become comfortable with intuitive readings like that, and you can integrate it with tarot, oracle cards, or whatever, and you have this whole nother layer. And in a way, it's also good for confirmation, because it, like, when I'm giving a tarot reading and I'm tapping into that person, if I'm kind of conflicted on a card, I can tap into that person, and it gives me a better perspective of where I need to go with that card. If I'm feeling like, well, it could be this or it could be that, and I tap into that person, and it's like, oh, okay, I know it needs to be this over here, not that. You know, it just helps.
Right. And, you know, and as you do that, you can also do the same intuitive process for the tarot card. So you could enter that tarot card and pick up on the energy, you know, that way as well. So you have the confirmation from the target as well as the card, and you can, you know, so there's different ways to check in, and utilizing the intuitive process is, it's just necessary, and it's so easy. So it's like, don't waste it. Like, don't, you know, waste your time and not do it. Just embrace it and have fun with it. Another thing is, like, some people they don't like to think of themselves as psychic or intuitive, and that's just a challenge, because you are. But really, if you want to think about it, we're all made of energy. We are all energetic expressions. We are vibration, and we are different vibration. Therefore, you know, lower vibration is a physical manifestation. Higher vibration is not so physical. So if you want to think about it that way, our intuition is just our energy, you know, tapping into other energy and receiving information from it. So, and I guess in a scientific level on that expression, you can think of it that way.
Right. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen that. I forget the artist's name, where it's basically like when he does people, they're like skeletons, but they all have like this different colored aura, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And show them connecting, and that's it. It's just like that. That's your, you know, your energy and the other person's energy, and all it is you're reading each other's energy, you know. And if you think about it like that, a lot of times that is that art. I wish I could remember his name, but anyway, that artist expression is a lot like what I see when I look at people's energy, you know, and just look at their higher vibrational energy.
Right.
You know, and even their physical energy, because even though that's a lower vibration, it still puts off well, energy, but like a color, you know. For me, it's usually colors.
Right.
So, and you get used to that. You once you start playing around with it and working with it and practice, because that's really the best way to develop your intuition, any kind of psychic skill. But you'll start to perceive things in your own way.
Right.
You know, it might be colors, it might be like that artistic expression where everyone's like skeletons, but they also have all these other layers of color, which is really trippy, but it's really neat. And but it's all it is practice. Your intuition and psychic development is a muscle like any other muscle that you just have to continuously use. You know.
Yeah.
Like your brain or your arms, your legs.
Yes, I like it. Do y'all have any questions? Do you have any questions on the intuitive process? Do you have any questions on you know, psychic readings, anything like that? Because we are here for a little bit longer, and we would love to answer anything that you have to ask. Yeah. Do you enjoy giving intuitive readings, and There was something I was going to say, and I just can't recall now. It's bugging me. But yeah, it's just practice. So much practice. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Okay. Keep yourself informed, educate yourself, because if you understand the different levels of energy, if you understand like the auric, the field, if you understand like the chakra system, the different ways energy is expressed and perceived, if you even understand like the anatomy of the body, all information in that regard is beneficial to the intuitive process, because the more information we have, the more we are able to help others and the more we are able to express. Because when we have all this information that we've downloaded into our minds and into our body, so when intuition hits, it's telling us, oh, that's a brain. If we didn't know what a brain was, we might be able to explain it, express it, and release that information. And if spirit came in and said, that's a brain, we'd be able to say, that's a brain. But on an intuitive level, if we don't have a spirit telling us what it is, we didn't know what it was, we would just be able to explain it. If now you educated yourself and you knew that that was a brain, boom, instant. You knew what that was. That is a goddamn brain. So educate yourself and have fun with it, because that, again, it's all about fun. It's all about enjoying the moment. And the more you learn, the more that your psychic energy, the psychic information, intuitive essence is able to utilize and give back.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll give it a little while longer and we'll recap, I guess. But if you have any questions on intuitive readings, psychic expression, anything like that, feel free to use the Q&A. If you're watching a recording, then go ahead and comment on the video, in the comment section, and we keep tabs with that, so we will respond to you. Ground, center, before you do your process, and then latch out, and attach yourself to your target in whatever fashion you feel is more like understanding, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Attach yourself to their energy, and then pull that energy to you, and then receive it. Interpret it.
Yes. And play around with it, and practice, and have fun with it, and don't take it like super serious. Don't get caught up in the seriousness of it, because that creates blocks.
Right.
That are very challenging to get around because you're too worried about the situation. This is something that's supposed to just flow. And it flows easier the more you do it.
Right. And drink lots of water, y'all, because water helps psychic and intuitive nature. For some reason, obviously, water keeps shit fluid. But you know what'd be really good pre-intuitive reading technique is to get a glass of water and then affirm that you are psychic, and affirm all these positive things into the water, because there's that dude who took pictures of water, on a different level, where he had affirmations and he treated different things, and the positive affirmations and the positive vibrations, the water looked alive and beautiful. But then there was the negative forces, the negative affirmation shit, and the water looked like dead and decaying. So that's very interesting. So if you can program your water and then drink it, and then boom, get ready into the intuitive process and go give some readings.
Yes. I like it.
Oh, thank you. I have some good ideas. I do have some good ideas. Okay, y'all. So if you don't have any questions, we're going to close up. If you think of anything that you'd like to ask us later on, you know how to get a hold of us. You can utilize the video and comment there, and we'll do our best to respond to you and give the best of ourselves to you. We are looking for content creators on the Facebook page. We might not have anyone, but we're just kind of putting the feelers out to see if anyone wants to be a part of a community and who is passionate about their craft and wants to share and wants to engage with others and really help create something and give back and take care of, and support one another. If you want to be a part of something like that, definitely message us and get a hold of Deviant Witchery, and we will be glad to talk with you.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Okay, and one last thing, y'all, before we leave, is we are starting a new event. It's called New Moon Love Conjure this time, and that's August 2nd. So check that event out, and it'll be a wide casting for New Moon Love, and whatever that means. You have to watch the casting with the Deviants to find that out, join the event to get more information, and subscribe to our channels, y'all.
Yes, and we'll be adding information, leading a lot of different, videos, the ingredients, spell, and all that into the event discussion as we're leading up to August 2nd. So be sure to check back in the event, put that you're interested or you're going so you get the notifications, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it.
Me too, me too. So until next time, y'all, it's been a pleasure. We always have fun with y'all. Peace.
Bye.